This year's recipient of the Sports Impact Award is an icon in not one, but two sports. Joe Gibbs won 3 Super Bowls as head coach of the Washington Redskins and was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
After stepping away from the NFL, Joe Gibbs turned his focus to NASCAR, winning 4 Cup Series championships and 3 Daytona 500s under his ownership. And just a few days ago, he was elected into the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Wow, that's awesome. Wow. Who's your favorite NASCAR driver? You a NASCAR fan?
There's a woman, right?
Yeah.
Donka? Dan?
Donka?
Donka?
Yeah.
She's my favorite.
Your favorite?
Yeah. Who's yours?
My favorite?
Yeah.
Oh, what? Dale, Ricky, Bobby Jr. That's who I cheer for every time. Joe's racing success was also due in large part to his son, J.D. Gibbs, who was the president of Joe Gibbs Racing and oversaw daily operations. J.D. was a huge supporter and national board member of Young Life Ministry.
Earlier this year, J.D. lost his battle with a degenerative neurological disease at the age of 49. So here to tell us about the J.D. Gibbs Legacy Fund to further the work of Young Life, please welcome to the stage our 2019 Sports Impact recipient, Joe Gibbs.
Thank y'all. I ought to get along pretty good in Nashville. Football and racing. You're probably on life support someplace if you don't like one of those. But I'm really here. I'm thrilled to be here to accept this award. But really tonight, what I'm here to do is kind of share with you somebody that had a huge impact on my life. And that's my son, J.D. If I could give you a little story and a little background, J.D. came on the scene, gave his life to Christ at 7, and his whole young life, really, it was him always giving everything he had. I share a little story with you. The first thing he actually played was that floor hockey, and so I go as a coach, and a dad, and he's playing in this group, and of course, as you guys know, it's just a giant mess on the floor. They came over by me. I stood up in the stands, and what do you do? It's your kid. And I go, J.D., get it. And I swear he stopped right in place, looked up at me with that red face, and goes, I'm trying. I learned right there, you don't have to coach J.D. up. His entire young life was just giving. And so I'm kind of here to kind of say to you, then he kind of goes forward into high school. He was the quarterback for his high school team. He met his sweetheart in junior high, got back together with her when they were in college, married, had 4 great boys, which are my grandkids today, Jackson Miller, Jason Taylor. And so Melissa and the whole crew. And in that process, when he graduated from college, he said, Dad, I'd rather do something in racing than I would in football. And can you believe it? Now, this is crazy, something only God could do. We put down a dream on a piece of paper, and the sponsor, Nora Miller and Tommy Miller at Interstate Battery, said, let's do this. And we started the race team. J.D. was the president, spoke in public, had his own ministry. And so we're rocking and rolling through life. About 5 years ago, we started to notice some changes in J.D. He got quieter, kind of setting back. We made the tour of the medical centers, and basically they diagnosed J.D. with degenerative brain disease. That started a 5-year struggle for us. J.D. handled this just the way he handled everything else in life. Never one complaint. J.D. knew that he belonged to the Lord, and we walked our way through that. J.D. went to be with the Lord this year on January the 11th. And I just want to share a little something with you that might encourage you as you go forward in life. The next big event that we had in racing after JD going to be with the Lord January 11th, remember that number, was the Daytona 500. Maybe some of you saw that. We went to the Daytona 500. JD had found Denny Hamlin, who drives our FedEx car, which is number 11. We get to Daytona. Daytona says we want to honor JD with a lap. What lap would you like to honor JD? We said a lap 11. We stood up on the wall. JD's name is over the door on Denny Hamlin's car. I'm kind of laying something out for you here, and I think you're going to see what I'm getting to, how God was involved with this. That race starts. It's the hardest race for us to win. We've only won it twice in 27 years. Denny had not won a race for a year. We're racing the biggest race of the year. And can you believe at the end of that race, Denny won. Kyle Busch was second, our driver, and Eric Jones was third, only the second time ever at the Daytona 500. I'm just sharing that with you to say this, that a lot of people, when they saw that and everything that happened at the Daytona 500, said that couldn't have just happened. I kept looking for God to show up in JD's disease. And for me, I just want to share with you the way he went through that. I kept saying, God, show up. God showed up at the Daytona 500. God also showed up in JD's legacy. He has a website. I'd encourage you to go there, jdgibbslegacy.com. It's our service we did for JD. Most people say it was very impactful for them and it changed some people's lives. It was JD's legacy, and of course, the greatest impact that JD made on me was his life with Christ. I have on my desk hundreds of letters from people shared with me how JD went out of his way to help someone. I got a letter on my desk from a little girl. She says, I struggle walking. JD saw me in your race shop and took me on a 2-hour tour of your race shop. JD had to spend 2 days in a local hospital, hospice there. While we were in there, the nurse came to me and said, do you know that JD, when he was healthy, used to come up and visit the patients in hospice? There's story after story, and JD's legacy, what it said to me, his impact was on me. See, JD's life of reaching out to others, I need to be doing that. I need to be reaching out to others. He had given his life to Christ, and of course, the greatest thing about JD now, for all of us that belong to Christ, is what? Is glory, is heaven. Life here on earth is short. We're told that. But think about this, glory, that is forever. JD's there. The impact it left on me was this. I didn't think that much about heaven. I knew it was there. I was having so much fun. Man, I said, I'm thinking about everything I'm doing down here. Now, I just want to say to you, knowing that JD's there, if God took me today, I would be ready. I mean, after all, most of you are young. I'm playing in the fourth quarter on house money. I'm in a 2-minute offense. I'm not even going back in the huddle. Let me say this, though. I say to everybody here, he gave his life to Christ. Hopefully everybody here. His legacy. What's our legacy? What are you going to leave? What's our impact? What am I going to leave? Okay? And then, of course, the great thing we got going for ourselves, when we give our life to Christ, we become heirs of Christ, and we have glory forever. That's how JD impacted my life. I hope you at some point will go to that website. A lot of people said it's had a life-changing impact on their life. I just want to say to you, the greatest thing we got going for ourselves, I appreciate being here tonight and being a part of this show where you have Christian, wholesome, and you're not afraid to say godly things. Thank y'all so much. We're going to heaven.
Gibbs.